Hi, it's Angela from Angela's Paper Arts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Melbourne, Australia. Recently I did a Mother's Day card, which was a pop-out gatefold card, and I had a couple of queries from customers asking how I did it. So I did make another one for a friend. So it's got a belly band around it, and you just slide the belly band off and you pull out the card, the gatefold part. But as you can see, there's two sort of sections to it. You got the card base, and then you got this pop out section as well. I haven't written in this one yet because I'm about to give it to my friend, but that's where I'm going to write my message to her on this panel and on this panel. And it's easier to write the message now while this is off and then adhere it on than try and write while this is sticking up. Alternatively, if you don't like putting your message inside the card, you can always put it on the back panel as well. So I'm just going to show you briefly how to make this card. It's more about the template and the style, and really the decoration is up to you. It does just fold back in on itself, and then you can put the belly band back on, but I won't do that right now. So I am going to use the new Kintsugi designer series paper from Stampin' Up. It's this one. It's a gorgeous, there's a stamp and die set with it as well. I haven't bought that as yet. I've just got the paper because I've been to Japan a couple of times and I understand the Kintsugi concept. We're making something imperfect, fixing it with gold, and that's what this is all about. So these are the different papers that come in this pack. You can see it's all gold foiled. I've just hand cut these images out, and then on the back you've got a variety of blues and peach colours, or petal pink as it is with Stampin' Up on the back as well, without the foil. So one side is foiled and the other isn't. So that's the paper I'm using, and this is the template that I've made so that you can take a screenshot of the template with the measurements. And I've got all the bits here as well. So I'll just pop that up there for the time being, so you can take a screenshot if you need to. So the pieces you will need for the card, you need the card base, which is 28 centimeters by 15 centimeters, and you score it 4 centimeters, and this is the card base here. I'll turn it the right way around. You scored at 4 centimeters, 9 centimeters, 19 centimeters, and 24 centimeters, and that is your card base. And then you mountain fold the first score line, valley fold the second, valley fold the third, and mountain fold the fourth. So it folds together as a gatefold that then just opens. I've already pre-done some of the adhering so that we're not wasting time showing you how to do something you already know how to do. You will need, I've called it colour 1 and colour 2. You can make this the same pattern the whole way through. You don't have to do alternating colours. I just happen to like it. So where I've said colour 1, I'm using the blue and gold, the misty blue. So you need one piece that's 14.5 by 9.5 centimeters, and you need 2 pieces for the outside panel here. So you can see I've already got one of the panels on. That's 14.5 by 3.5 centimeters. You then need 2 pieces for the inside panel, and they are, let me just take that one off now, 14.5 by 4.5 centimeters. That's there. Now I have said an optional 4 pieces, because if you look at this card, you can see it's got quite a, I'll just move that there, it's got quite a dark panel here. You can, and I did do this on my Mother's Day card, you can put another layer in there. And you can do that any colour you like. So if you wanted to, you could add that extra panel on the inside here of these two outer panels. That's up to you. Today I'm just going to leave it plain white, but if you wanted to, you could have an extra panel here as well as the extra panel inside. So if you choose that, you will need 4 pieces of this size instead of just the 2 which we're putting inside today. Hope that's not confusing, but it's one of those, it's optional. Right, so that's for the card base. Then what you've got is the panel part, this 5-piece panel that folds down. And for that, you need a piece of paper that's 27.5 centimetres by 8 centimetres, and you're going to score it every 5.5 centimetres. So it looks like this, and as you can see, again, I've already started hewing the paper onto it. Where you're putting adhesive on the back, you're putting it on the outer edge of both ends. You can probably see my tape. And you're putting it in the middle as well. I have sort of marked that with sort of score lines there on the template. So you are not putting any adhesive anywhere else, otherwise it's just not going to, that panel is not going to float at all. So to decorate the panel, let's see, you'll have 2 pieces of colour 2, which are 5 by 7.5 centimetres. That's this one, which is going to go here. And then you'll have 3 pieces of colour 1, same size, 5 by 7.5 centimetres, to fill out the panel. And then you'll want some decoration for inside as well. The other thing, if you decide you do want to write on the panel inside, you'll need these couple of extra white panels, optional. They're 4.5 by 7 centimetres, and you'll need 1 or 2 depending on how much you want to write, and just as I've done in here, where I've actually stamped a little message there, and I'll continue to write my message on this side. So let's finish putting this together. Now that we've got all the bits and pieces, it's just a bit of cutting, really. Oh, and there's an optional belly band. You may just want to fold it and leave it as is, but if you want the belly band, it's 25 by 3 centimetres. So let me just finish quickly putting these panels on. There's my little rubbish tin. There's my rubbish tin. And we will get to the fun part, putting it all together. What I find the trickiest part of this is actually putting the panel inside the card. So I'll just take this off. That there. Flick that glue over. Looks about right. And there. I'll put the decoration in once it's finished. So that's the panel. I'm going to leave the sentiment panels off for today. And now we'll just adhere the inside panel. Pop that there. As I said, I didn't want to make this too long a video. I just wanted to really show you how to construct the card. rather than spend a lot of time cutting and pasting. And where's my other panel? My last panel for the outside. And of course you want to try and keep this in a fairly straight line, even though it's all different panels. It doesn't look too bad. There we go. And we'll take the adhesive off that. Right, so now the fun part. Make sure I've got the flowers up the right way. Yes, there we go. So as you can see, it comes together like that, like a gatefold, normal gatefold card. But what we want to do now is put this in here and this in here and fold it in on itself. And what I found, I have seen other people where they, with this, because this style of card's been around for a long time, where they adhere the centre first and then adhere the outside panels. If you don't get it quite centre, it doesn't quite close in on itself and it can mess up a bit. If you're very accurate, fine. I'm not always very accurate. I'm just going to flick the bit of the tape out to get it ready to adhere. But what I'm really going to do is fold it together. I know I want that about here, so I'm going to, if I can get this going, I'm going to adhere the outside panel first rather than inside panel. So let's get this in position. So what you're doing, that's going in there. You're folding this in, and that folds in, and this one will go on this side, and then you're folding this one here, folding that, and that's going to go on this side. So what I'm going to try and do first is stuck a bit. Let me just pull that back a little bit. Right. So what I'm going to do is fold it up, that goes there, and then fold this one up, because this one goes here. I'm making a bit of a dog's breakfast of it this morning, aren't I? And I can then scooch it around, and I think that's about right. So I'm going to take that down, and I'm going to do the same with the other side. Now that it's in place and it's happy, and I will take that last little bit of tape off on the outside because I had 2 rows of it. Oops, it doesn't want to play nice. Right, so there we go. So there's our panel. So when we open it now, we're getting this effect. So all I need to do now is pull the double-sided tape off, because I know that's centered and it will close properly because I did the outside first. Anyway, that's just my way of doing it. If you prefer to put some liquid glue like Tombow onto the center panel, then do the outside panels, go for it. My preference is to line up the outside first, because then I can tweak it to make sure I've got it right. So there's the base of the card. Now what we want to do is do the belly band. And so, in fact, what I might do is just put the decoration inside. As I said, I hand cut a few of the vases and cups from the paper, trying to decide which one do I like best. And I felt like the peach with the blue, because they tend to be complementary colours, went nicely. So I'm just going to pop that in the middle. Oh, not quite in the middle. Let's pull that out a bit. There we go. And I've got the little Celebrate sentiment from the Unbounded Love stamp set. And let me see if I can get this straight. The camera's right in the way, of course it is. Okay, there we go. So there's inside decorated, folded in, and now we're going to do the belly band. So because it's 10 centimeters wide, I just did some rough score lines around, made that about 10.5 centimeters or 10.25. I'm going to put that behind, and this is how it's going to come together, because we're going to cover that front up, and that way you don't see the join at the back on the belly band. So I make my belly bands bigger to start with in case there's a lot of bulk in the card, but I can see that there's a bit too much. I don't need all this excess, so I'm just going to chop a bit off, and I'm going to add a bit of tape onto the end here so that will stay in place, because I've got my red liner tape. You can use fast fuse tape. So I'm just going to take that tape off. What you want to make sure is that you don't do your belly band too tight, otherwise it'll be difficult to slide off. So let's try and make this, join it up. That looks good. Yep, that's sliding nicely. And whilst the join at the front might look weird to start with, it's getting covered, so no one will see it anyway. Right, so for this sentiment, I use the Nested Essentials dies, a couple of them, to create the mat. And I used, for this beautiful leafy fern, I used the Beautiful Motifs die set, and there's a few of them in here. So I used this die for that, but you can see you've got some others. These three only partially cut paper, although you can cut these out, or some of it out. Right, so now all I need to do is, and again the happy birthday came from the Unbounded Love, I think it was, stamp set. I might be wrong. No, I'm not. Happy birthday, Unbounded Love. There we go. So now I'm just going to adhere the sentiment on the front of the belly band, and we're done. And that will just slide off, and the card then opens like that. So I hope you found that useful, and understand how to assemble the card. As I said, the fiddliest bit is attaching this panel, and to make sure it does fold, because it's quite a chunky card, as you can see. There's a bit of depth to it. I wouldn't use thick cardstock with the middle panel, purely because if you use the basic white, the standard basic white, not the thick one, that will help reduce the bulk in the card as well, because that's a little bit thinner. So they're my tips to get it nice and even. I would start on the outside panel and just have it sort of placed in the middle, but it automatically self-adjusts once you get that in place. And that's it. So hope that's useful, and if you've got any questions, just place a comment below. Thanks for watching. Bye.